Robert, the latest Manchester United news time. As you can see, I'm wearing the new Manchester United shirt, a great shirt. But let's get into the latest news. Let's talk about Manchester United. I want to talk about MAZRAOui being available for the game against Liverpool. I'll also talk about some other things as well. But yeah, let's get into it. Listen, the latest Manchester United news. I'm going to start by talking about Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton has overtaken Carlos BALEBA, Manchester United list of target to Ruben Amorim is understood to be a big admirer of Wharton. Directness when he gets the opportunity to pass forward rather than sideways. This is the big thing as well that he said on Ugarte. He said to Ugarte, you weren't the player that you was at Sporting. So on the sort of midfield stuff, again, it's big from Ruben Amorim to say that this was actually conducted in the same meeting where he talked about Garnacho and he better pray that you can find a new club. So quite damning quotes coming from Ruben Amorim. But I think he's right. Listen, I think Wharton is a better option than Carlos BALEBA. I think that's something that makes a lot of sense. I think you look at the two different players. Wharton's a much more progressive carry the ball, can bring the ball through midfield. A better player for me personally all round, and I think he does have tremendous qualities. Now you look at someone like BALEBA, again, still a top player, top talent, but I think BALEBA, I think Adam Wharton's a better option and probably more better suited to Manchester United than Wharton is. No, Wharton is better suited to Manchester United than BALEBA is. I think you look at that midfield, it's a position that needs fixing. I think it's a position that has been neglected for a while. I think you look at Manchester United, you look at the club, and we know they're not afraid to spend money. They spend a lot of money, 200 million on the attack. They need to bring in money. So, yeah, ultimately, I think looking at the midfield, we need a huge reboost. And I think choosing Wharton over BALEBA is probably the best way to go. I think the two very good players, and I'd be happy with either. But I think BALEBA is probably the one that's going to be left out, and United will progress with Adam Wharton. So yeah, listen, I'm happy with that. I think Adam Wharton's, as I said, a world-class player, and you look at what United need, someone to progress the ball through midfield. He has got ability to make line-breaking passes. He's fantastic on the ball. Defensively, he's very, very sharp as well. And again, I think Amorim's preference is obviously BALEBA is Adam Wharton as well. So let's see what happens there. This is what Courtois had to say on Son Lamont. He said, "I'm sure he can do a good job. He has a tough game this weekend, so I hope if he plays, it will go well for him. All the best. It's a hard stadium. Maybe I should tell him to clap the home fans when he arrives at the Kop." I mean, listen, Courtois is probably one of the best goalkeepers in the last few years. He's been fantastic for Madrid and one of the best keepers as well for Belgium. So, and a Premier League keeper as well. He's fantastic while he was at Chelsea. I think you look at Courtois. He's a huge role model for Lamont, being the Belgian first choice keeper and being teammates. So yeah, I think to get this sort of back in, I think we know Lamont is going to get that run of games which he deserves now after having that great game against Sunderland. So yeah, hopefully he can have a big game for United against Liverpool, because it's going to be a tough atmosphere. It's going to be hostile. Liverpool fans are going to probably be jeering every touch. It's going to be a difficult game. You expect Liverpool to create chances, so it's never going to be an easy game, but I hope he can do well and have a huge part to play in the game for Manchester United. Now, the last thing, MAZRAOui could be back for Manchester United's upcoming clash against Liverpool at Anfield. MAZRAOui has not played since September 20th due to an unspecified injury. He reported at Morocco's training camp in Saleh, I think, for the World Cup qualifying wins against Congo and Bahrain. The 27-year-old underwent a medical assessment and did recovery work, but did not play any of the game. MAZRAOui has been back at United Carrington training base for medical assessments this week before team training resumed when the international participants return. So, listen, I think whether MAZRAOui is fit or not, I think if MAZRAOui is fit, he probably does start this game. I don't know how fit he actually is, whether he can start the game, but I think you look at what he's needed. I think he's a much better right wing back than Diogo Dalot, and if he is fit, I would start him my right wing back in this game. But we'll talk about that when we do the preview. But yeah, I think MAZRAOui is a huge piece. He can play anywhere across the back five, and I think he'll do a good job for us. And I think he has a lot of quality. Just to look ahead at what my back five would be for that, Dorgu would be on the left. Now on the right, I don't think he'd go for Ahmad. I think he would go more defensive with Dalot. But if MAZRAOui is fit, I would 100% start him in this game. And I think he'd go Shaw, De Ligt, Yoro as his back three. I don't see him doing anything else. I think Maguire, De Ligt in the same back three don't really work. And see, Martinez isn't 100% ready yet, so I think he has to go with that. But let's see what does happen there. I think it's a big call to make for you. If it would be quite ballsy from Amorim if he does start Diallo at right wing back, but let's see what happens there. But that has been the latest update. MAZRAOui could potentially be returning for Manchester United for the game against Liverpool. I wouldn't rush him though, because you do want him to be 100% fit. Obviously, Wharton is someone who is reportedly going to be United want Wharton more than BALEBA, so that could be something to keep an eye out on. So there's some other stories in there as well. So let me know your thoughts on the news. Thanks for watching.